I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I'm born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
You caught me trying to find it on X on my phone. Hey, good morning, everyone. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries. Hope you're having a good day today. Kimberly and I are here at the park, and we are hanging out with Reese and Louie, having a great time. Love that we can do devotions from here. I finally have my equipment. We went home and got my computer and microphone and stuff, so I feel more comfortable in my shoes and in my computer technology. By the way, Steve Giroux did an awesome job today in the men's devotion. Even went into quoting Martin Luther, which was kind of funny. We'll talk about that in a day or two when I'm doing that morning devotion. But what a great job he did on this idea that there's going to be a judgment someday, and that God's going to say, did you love like I loved? Did you have mercy? Or did you just judge people? Right? Mercy triumphs over judgment. I just love that phrase. I love that devotion. Steve, if you're listening, great job. Great job. Great job. Beautiful. All right, let's say who's on, and then we'll get into my devotion in 1 John chapter 4, verses 1 through 3. So hold on a sec. Dr. Colleen, good morning. I'm out there. Good morning. Chuck, good morning, saints. Oh, no, good morning, family. Aha, you tricked me that time. Burt Reggiani, good morning, everyone. Ken Gooch, good morning. Karen Thompson, good morning. My sister Trish, there's Steve Giroux. Everybody, give Steve a yay. What a great devotion he had today. Great job. Okay, well, there's a lot more of you out there. Just for see what it is. We got about 8 people on YouTube. We got about 9 or 10 people on X, and just a couple on Facebook. All right, let me pull up the text and let's get to this devotion. Let me put my microphone out in front of me. There we go. I'm assuming you can all see and hear me. I don't see any comments saying you can't. So let me pull up the text. Bam. Hopefully you can see that. We're looking at 1 John chapter 4, and I'm going to do verses 1 through 3 today. Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. Now, let's just be careful here, and not be careful, I guess, but be very clear. It was common in society in that day to understand and recognize that there was more to our existence than just what we can see, touch, and feel. The empiricists, the people who say, I'm not going to believe it unless I see it, it's just the most idiotic worldview, right? They believe in wind and they don't see it. They believe in gravity and they don't see it. They just want to not believe in God. But the point is, let's just say that when John is writing this letter, spirits are just absolutely accepted and understood. There's good spirits, bad spirits. Now, maybe not everybody. There's a lawnmower going by. That's great. Maybe they don't all have a biblical worldview where we understand that there's angels and there's demonic forces and those kinds of things. But I guess it doesn't matter in the sense that as other religions broke away from the biblical true religion, they still held on to some of the parameters of forces out there. There are forces out there that are either for us or against us. And so John is telling us as Christians, don't believe every spirit. What does that mean? That means spirits are trying to guide us, talk to us, speak to us. Hence, we have to take every thought captive, and we have to make sure that we're making distinctions between lies and truths. And how do we know? We measure all words spoken to the Word of God. If it doesn't match the Word of God, it's a lie. If it matches the Word of God, it's truth. And so I just find it we wouldn't talk like this in America. Not most of us, right? Because that would just be an acknowledgement that there's a spiritual world out there. So, dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. See, false prophets have been illuminated and lied to by demonic forces, and those demonic forces are leading them, right? They're deluded. Their spirit. That's why we got to be so careful with people who say they're preaching the Word of God or teaching the Word of God, but then sometimes their lives don't match it, right? We should look at the fruits. We should look at the fruits that are generated. Now that lawnmower is going to come right in front of me. Isn't that great? All right. I'll try to stick with me here. This is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Listen, this is important because we talked about the Spirit yesterday and we talked about the power on Sunday. Sorry. And so how could I recognize the difference between demonic and spirit? Listen, every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come into the flesh is from God. Every teaching, everything that says that Jesus Christ, the very Son of God, came into the flesh from God to save us and redeem us, a demon can't lie, right? That's why I try to say all the time that demonic forces cannot be around unconditional love and truth. They got to flee because all the power they have is in the lie. And if you don't buy the lie, they lose their power. Verse 3, but every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist. Listen, this is the spirit of the Antichrist, the one that is opposed to Jesus, which you have heard is coming and even now is already in the world. So there's an Antichrist spirit that is constantly roaming through the world. It sometimes will sound like Jesus, look like Jesus. It just won't say that Jesus is the very Son of God who came to earth to save and redeem us and to set us free. You with me? Well, I hope I challenged that lawnmower and I won. That's what. Did I win? Did I win the battle? I hope you were able to hear the devotion. Have any questions about this? Feel free to ask and we'll get to those. Let me see who jumped on at the end. Who jumped on at the end? Did anybody? The forces are challenging you. Yes, they are. The man with the riding lawnmower is challenging me. Okay. All right. Let me pull myself back into the screen. Hopefully he'll be on time, so we'll hope for that. All right. I think two powerful lessons so far this morning. A lot to be thought about, a lot to be said about the James verse and also this First John verse. I'll see some of you in about 20 minutes. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.